Hey, and we're back with secret number 4.
Work your way in, buy your way in.
Man, this is the game. Like, if you don't, well, you got to do Dream 100.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about that in secret number 2. But if you don't read any other chapter in this book, read this chapter. And there's just so many chapters I feel like that about in this book.
If you don't read this whole book,
man,
read this whole book.
If you're a marketer, this is, and like, you are having trouble finding traffic or getting traffic to whatever your client's website is, or you do sales for a business and you're having trouble finding traffic, this book is going to help you get that traffic. Now, I should say that you should combine it with .com Secrets and Expert Secrets to get the full picture, and it's worth going through all of them. And you could get them from me for only $30, $10 a piece. But this book, oh my God, it's millions of dollars worth of game. So let's get into it. Step number 1, even past the intro, is just dig your well before you're thirsty. And that's a concept that most people do not understand, because I get so many people for music stuff especially wanting to hit me up right when they are dropping something like, yo, check out my mixtape. You know, that whole cliche. But like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
No.
But this does.
It does.
Can you explain more?
Sure, absolutely. So the figures explain you can get traffic from your Dream 100 by working your way in and or buying your way in. So there's always 2 ways, and I'll put it simply. Back in the day, when you talk about mass marketing for mailing lists and emailing lists, there were a lot of ways that people thought to take a shortcut, and they would buy their email addresses, so they would buy their contacts for a email blast about this product. They don't know how many people are gonna bite, but they just have a bunch of names, okay? So that is a way that you can buy a list that you wouldn't have access to in order to try to get an edge on maybe getting somebody out of that to,
because these are people that are likely to buy. These are lists that have been put together by other companies that are of people that are likely to buy something. It may or may not be for your particular product, but they have bought something from a company before.
Exactly.
And that company sold their name and email address or address to another company that collates this stuff.
Exactly right. So that is the concept of buying your way in, but working your way in, somebody had to do the work to get that list. So now, if you were to work your way in, you would congregate enough people on your own list, which would be tailored to your products. So therefore, it's a lot less of a gamble than buying your way in, especially if you do it in an early level of buying. Now, if you work your way up and then decide to buy your way in through other ways of like buying ads on platforms and so on along that, you can really have an edge. So that's the concept there.
And so, yeah, going into step 1, dig your well before you're thirsty, really means to go and participate in really the Dream 100 of your dream customer. Go to their websites, go to their social media, and interact with those brands, because eventually the other part of the Dream 100 is, if you work your way up to being a big enough company, you may be able to say you have a podcast like this. You may be able to interview an Oprah or Barack Obama or somebody like that, because they've seen you hustling and doing and interacting with their customers, or just their fans, and providing that value, like I said, for free. Especially, they don't have to see that off their website that you're selling your product, but to them it just looks like you're giving a bunch of value for free, and that is good for them, that's good for your brand, that's good for their customers and fans. So do that early, before you actually need the interview.
Exactly right.
Do it before you even have the podcast. If you're reading along in this book, you will probably understand that at some point you're going to have to broadcast yourself in some way or another, whether that's a podcast, whether that's a YouTube channel, or a number of other things you can do. Instagram, you can do pretty much anything you want. You just have to have a plan to do it, and you can do all of them if you want. I don't suggest that for everybody. As a Gemini, I think I'm actually pretty decent at multitasking and doing the jack of all trades things.
Sure.
But another key that we'll get into this into in this book later on is the master show, and that'll help you do multiple things at once as well. But
exactly,
dig your well before you're thirsty.
Exactly.
Go and pay the dues. Go help people for free before you need something from the people in your Dream 100.
Precisely. So in this section, it also talks about to launch a movie in Hollywood, the actors and actresses have to go on various TV shows in order to pretty much promote their movie, right? So if you think about this in terms of what you're doing, you can work your way in to your Dream 100 by appearing on their own shows. So like Darian said, dig your well before you need the water. And the way you can do that, a prime example is by going on your friends' podcasts, going on your friends' shows, YouTube series, and everything like that. That way, both of you can talk about something that you're both working on, and you can infiltrate different markets that are really close to you, that are way easier to access than if you were to try to get on a big podcast or national TV.
That's exactly it. In my opinion, and just as like our kind of knowledge that would just be for our company that I'm just going to give to you right now, if you're watching this, make 2 Dream 100s. So you have the greater Dream 100 that has your true dream people that can help you make your dream. If they endorsed you, could make your dream come true tomorrow. That's the initial Dream 100, right? Because the customers and fans of those people are also people that would probably like your product. The other Dream 100 you need to make is local. So in your town, wherever you're from, make a Dream 100 of the brands, your friends' companies, and other brands in town that you would love that are staples of your town. For St. Louis, that would be like Vess and like Red Hot Riblets. You know what I mean? That those people, make a Dream 100 of those people too, so that, even if they don't have a podcast, maybe they do commercials and they throw you in a commercial, or, whatever it is. You end up, you're a musician and you do their ad for the radio, whatever it becomes. And you work your way up by doing that, and you get some notoriety, and then your actual Dream 100, your big Dream 100, I should say, is going to start to take notice. And some of those people might also be your friends. Think about that as well. People that are in your industry or markets that are complementary, especially things that you don't do but would complement what you do, so that you're not competing for customers. Talk to those folks. Those are the first people you're going to get in your Dream 100 to step 2, work your way in, like Jelani said. Be on their podcast, be on the TV show, be on your local news station, be on your local radio. That's working your way in. Doing the interviews, providing some type of value to that audience, right? So again, you're providing something for free during that interview, hopefully, that gives those people an answer to their question, and then also lets them know that you have something to offer that can further help them. Because usually, once you solve one problem, you find another one.
Exactly.
So.
And just to wrap up section 4, by creating, also on all of that considered, then what you would want to essentially go into is when creating multiple buying opportunities for your customers in the funnels, we usually break even or make a small profit on the front end. Then this is Russell giving an example of what it was like to do this with ClickFunnels. So, and essentially he explains that he got on a podcast with Tony Robbins on Facebook and had access to 3.1 million people because of it.
Yep.
And in that, he noticed that in paid traffic you can find quick spikes, but then it fizzles out. But then that's compared to a slow production of traffic like that you do over time, but it's like this is steady growth instead of a quick growth from a paid ad. So just knowing those differences and applying those different types of, ebb and flow to your operation, there's a really good balance there. You can't just do all paid ads and expect to get overnight success. And if you're going to work your way in, it's not an overnight success thing. It's very much an incremental road. So just things to consider in working your way in versus buying your way in. And you can also do both. Don't think of it as a one or the other thing.
Right, because, even in this secret, I got step number 2 is work your way in, but that's traffic that you earn. So you're doing the work to get it. Mm-hmm. But it also has buy your way in, traffic that you control. So, you can get money back if what you're doing has an OTO. So if you got a one-time offer where your core offer, the product basically makes you break even, or you may even lose a little bit, but you make up money on the one-time offer and order form bumps where you're profitable from jump, and then you use that money to buy paid ads, and that's traffic that you control. But
in the next secret, we're going to get to traffic that you own, and that is really important. So stick around for that.
Man.